big vision, the big picture is, right, that here we are, right? We come into a human form. So we come into this human form and we have to figure out how it is. So we go, okay, figuring out how it is. If I do this, this happens. If I do this, this happens. And so we begin to orient in this world, this new world that we're born into. We're learning everything, we're growing, we're going, okay, this is how I need to be to get my needs met. This is how, and so those first, really it's till puberty that we're really kind of figuring out how it is. Like, okay, so if I'm like this, if I'm perfect, then I get my needs met. If I'm good enough, then my mom will love me. If I'm worthy, if I've done enough good, helped out in the kitchen or picked up my toys or cleaned my room or took care of my little brother or whatever, then I'm worthy of mom's love or dad's approval, right? So we come in and we try and assess, what do I need to do or be to get my needs met? So here we are, right? We come into this human form. This is like, how do I need to be in this form to get my needs met? So we decide unconsciously, okay, this is how I need to be. I need to belong, and then I get my needs met. So then I go about my life. The problem is there's nothing wrong with these beliefs that get set up as our kind of our beacons of like, okay, this is how it is to be in this world. The problem starts when we start to try to resolve these beliefs. Everybody has them. The likelihood you're going to get rid of them is pretty slim. You just can't give it the power. Does that make sense? So if there is a belief of limitation that I coded up that says, okay, I need to be good in order for me to get my needs met, then I'm going to go about living my life trying to show that I'm good enough. But that gets you nowhere, except for still feeling like you're not good enough. I mean, you see people all the time who are super high achievers, but yet don't feel good enough. And yet all this stuff that they're creating, most of it is not necessarily what they want. They're just creating it so that they can feel good enough to then go and do what they want. So we want to stop that pattern of trying to resolve our beliefs of limitation, trying to resolve anything. Really, there's nothing to be resolved. It's about going for what you want and then clearing the pathway. And so that's what we do in these calls, right? When we go into the 7-step process, we go, okay, well, this is what I want to create. This is what's in the way. Let's clear it. So if you can go ahead and take those steps, there's nothing to be cleared, right? And if you can't, then we need to clear things. So the whole thing is about going from that, trying to resolve the beliefs of limitation, trying to fix yourself, trying to fix your life. Instead, create your life. Create what it is that you choose. So that's what this whole thing is shifting you, all of us. I mean, I still bump into it. It's like it's not like a stopping point. It gets to be a place where it's easier to make the shift and go, oh, wait, giving my power to that. I don't want to do that anymore. So it becomes easier and easier to notice when you're giving your power to the beliefs of limitation or a different belief. It doesn't have to be just the beliefs of limitation. It could be any belief. It could be anything that you're giving the power to that is not your choice, right? Could be that you're giving your power to being right. Maybe you're in your relationships, you're choosing like, I want to be right. Well, do you want to be right? Or do you want to have a loving, connected, compassionate relationship? What are you choosing? And then to consistently pivot to what you choose. So that's kind of the big picture view. What we want to do is to consistently pivot to what we want versus trying to either say, oh, well, I'm this or I'm that. Therefore, I've got to go about and fix myself. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. Boy, I don't know enough. I've got to go about knowing enough. So then I can go after my choices. No, just go after your choices. So we're wanting to make this shift from orienting in the world, which is necessary. We all have to orient in the world. That's not going to go away. Everybody orients in the world, in this 3D world. It's just like going to a new country. We're going to have to orient ourselves. But that should stop at about puberty, right? When there should be a shift, go like, wait a second, it's not about, you don't need to learn how this world is anymore. You got it. Now you need to learn how to create. That's the pivot we're making. We're making that shift from trying to resolve these beliefs of limitations, these old programs, all of that, and shifting into, I choose to create this new thing. And that's what this is about, is trying to change a feeling, resolving. Trying to change a feeling, resolving. Not necessarily. It could be, depending on what it is about. Sometimes, let's put that over here for just a second. I'll answer that, but I want to go down that path yet, because it's like another layer in. Okay. So first, what we want to do is just say, okay, this is what I think I need to be doing. I need to be better. I need to be smarter. I need to be this or that. Right. And then I go about trying to fix myself so that then I can have, let's say I'm wanting to have a deeper connection in my relationships. So I look at myself and I go, oh, well, I'm not doing this right. And I'm not doing that right. I just need to go and, do this and fix my, fix my insecurity from childhood. And then I need to fix that I'm shame. I feel shame. Then I need to fix this. Well, you don't need to fix any of that. You just need to say, I want to have a loving, connected relationship. And then if those things come up, like, oh, the reason I can't have a loving relationship is because I give my power to a belief of limitation, then I can just say, oh, wait a second, I don't want to give my power there. I want to give my power to what I want to create. Give the power there. And then if you can take steps to that, you're good to go. If you can't, then do the recode or a different process or breath work or whatever to clear the stuff out of the way so that you can take the steps to have what you want. Right? But the first step is really making sure that the things you're going for are not to try to resolve your beliefs of limitation, but the things that you're going for are in alignment what really makes your heart sing. So if the things you're doing aren't in alignment with really makes your heart sing, then pivot and go, wait a second, I actually choose this. Some of them may be a step along the way. Like, let's say you want to travel. You want to be a world traveler, right? And you go, oh, okay, I want to be a world traveler. I want to take 2 years off work and go take a sabbatical and do that and whatever. And you go, okay, well, I need to have a certain amount of finances. What could I do? And so you ask that question, what could I do to create the finances, which is a step towards your goal? What could I do? And you go, oh, and you come up with like, oh, I could borrow it. I could use my credit card. I could, I could work overtime. I could do that. Right. So there's all these things you could do. And then it's like, well, what really feels right? So that can be a step that may not be your high dream. Like maybe I get a second job and that's what I intuit I need to do so I can take 2 years off and go travel. Does that make sense, guys? Give me a yes as that's landing. I see. Da-da-da. Yeah. Cool. So we can have steps that may not make our heart sing, but we know that we're going for the thing that makes our heart sing. Does that make sense? That we're going for what we truly want. And the steps along the way may be like, oh, okay, what I got about taking 2 years off to go traveling is like, I'm going to take on a second job just for the 6 months. I'm going to put all that money away and then I'm going to go. Right. So it may be a step that's moving you forward, but that's not fixing. Does that make sense? Like you could say, oh, I choose to have a loving, connected, compassionate relationship. And then you realize that even as you're pivoting there, that there's something you need to learn about communication. There's somehow you're not hearing your partner. There's somehow you're not communicating clearly. So maybe you choose to do counseling, or maybe you choose to do a class in clear communicating or whatever. It's not that you may not do the same things to get you there, but the intent behind it is different. So if I say, oh, there's something wrong with me, all my relationships are failing, I got to go do this so that I can fix myself. That has a very different feel, energy, and trajectory about it than, oh, I'm choosing to have loving, connected relationships. And, oh, I'm noticing there's this skill set of being a clear communicator that I haven't developed yet. Can you feel the difference between those two? I'm broken. There's something wrong with me. I've got to go fix myself. I got to go learn how to communicate because I'm just a horrible communicator, blah, blah, blah. That has that energy. But if you go, oh God, I want these loving, connected relationships, and my style of communicating habitually is not serving me. Therefore, I'm going to learn how to communicate more clearly, more compassionately, more from my heart versus from my head. So yeah, give me a yes if that makes sense, and then I'll read these. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So does it make sense that we are discovering our patterns? Yes, we are discovering our patterns where we give our power away and train ourselves to stop getting lost in the patterns of fixing. Yes. And getting into the pattern of creating. Exactly. That's exactly it. We're just creating a new road, basically. We're going from giving our power to trying to fix to giving our power to creation. Yes, that's exactly right. Let me see what else. Late night to get my MA module is in steps to my goal and achieving better playing opportunities. Yes, exactly. Yes, that will help you, up your thing. But it may not be that you love going late night to class, but it is helping to move towards a dream that you have. So precisely. I love that. Cool. So now on GT's question about emotions, which, so let's say we're making that pivot, right? We're catching ourselves when we're giving the power to trying to fix ourselves or thinking somebody else needs to fix themselves too. That's giving your power away as well. How many of you have noticed that? Like either it's like, I need to be fixed, or you know what, you're broken. You need to fix yourself so that you can communicate better with me. That's still in problem solving, right? Right? It's like, yeah, I'm good. But what's wrong with you? Instead, pivot. Like, what do I want to create? Right? Because we don't need the other person to change for us to create our dreams, right? We just need to create it inside of ourselves.